man was just playing some of my favorite fucking music. I love that shit right there. Yeah, I might sing tonight. I mean, 2 more drinks, the shit might turn another way, But yo, y'all, we gon', we got these 2 beautiful, people up here that wanna interview a fella. So, could y'all introduce yourself?
My name is Dami Corinne. I'm from Trinity, Texas, so Dallas native.
Salute. My name is Greg. I'm from Dallas. I've been doing the music, business, entertainment, TV world for about 10, 15 years. And it's an honor to really salute you, give you flowers. Like you heard my brother, you know what I'm saying? You've been doing it. Like you probably don't even understand how much Dallas to New York love you, you feel me? So we salute.
Yeah. Wait, I didn't know we were saying what we do for a living. I mean, I do music and TV and film and all that, write music and all that. But no, you do deserve your flowers, and I don't want to take away from that moment. Speaking of Dallas natives, how are you liking Dallas?
I love it. I mean, it's a beautiful city. I love the people out here. They've got a lot of good energy. It's definitely totally different from where I come from. I'm more fast-driven lifestyle up there. Buildings is on top of each other. Out here it's more spacious, more good living. Of course, you got hoods everywhere. I could take you to a hood in Dallas in 5 minutes. And it'll make me feel like I'm home though. But I just like it because it's a new place and and the people is just, like I said, good people.
Alright, so we're gonna get right into it. First question, what did you think about Wu-Tang at first, the show? And then how did you feel after you saw it?
Talking about tonight, right? Or in general? Just to know that me and my clan, we've been through so much in the streets and, being able to have a 30-year expansion in the music business and have a television show, that shit is amazing. I always felt like one day I would be able to see that, but just didn't know when. And I give all the credit to the fans because you don't really know how big you are when you are the person that everybody's paying attention to. And I think, we were so passionate about hip hop and about what we had to do in the game to get what we had today, that I think that it was only right that it was time to give people a glimpse of where we came from, how we came together. Because I tell people all the time, Wu-Tang was a symbol. It's like being in your neighborhood. And there's certain crew of members and people out there in the crew that just grew up with each other, that we all believed in hip hop. And then when it was time to form, it was like walking in to go get a job. And next thing you know, you see yourself hanging with dudes in the neighborhood that's like, yo, we getting ready to do this shit together. So that was real different. But to see us on TV is amazing.
So let me ask you this, what were some of the difficult moments as you was coming up, what were some of the difficult moments you can kind of express to the people that probably followed you, but didn't really, see behind the scenes, what were some of the moments that transpired in your life?
Some of the moments that transpired in our life before we got on the game, it was like we was living like, guys in the neighborhood, just not really knowing where we going. Just growing up, getting into shit. We had our times, we was out there selling drugs and just trying to make money to survive. It wasn't even like something we wanted to do forever, but it was something that we just had to adapt to in order to survive. But hip hop, it just was like, it was a vessel to keeping us knowing that something else may happen. It may happen in music, and I tell people all the time, you could be going through your worst moments and It's just something about hearing good music, especially the music that this man is playing. You know, just taking me back to those times of listening to those songs and being out there in the street trying to figure out what's going to be your next move. And we didn't know at that time. We didn't know, but we knew that hip hop was something that we loved. It was teaching us something, but we was in the trenches. And when I tell you, when I say trenches, I mean maybe 5 minutes away from either dead or in jail. All of us. So when RZA came to the table and said, yo, I see your potential, I see yours, and this is what I want to do. It was interesting. It was like, word, you think we could do this? So he really became the person that enlightened us to want to even look this way. We only knew a little bit of our talent and abilities, a little bit. And then next thing you know, it was like, what do we gotta lose? You know, Staten Island was the last place to get recognized in the 5 boroughs. So we felt a little alienated. Like, yo, y'all don't know about Staten Island? Oh, we not a part of the 5 boroughs? What the fuck is y'all talking about? So we had a lot to prove coming into the game when we first started. And it was real.
Look at you guys now. I'm gonna piggyback off that question. What do you think was the biggest moment or the moment that you felt like you knew you were changing hip hop as we all know it to be?
I think it started with the first Wu-Tang album, Into the 36 Chambers. It was a different sound that was being created back then. And people were starting to pay attention to us because, number one, you never had a 9-man group before. So that was very interesting at the time in the 90s. So we didn't care. We was like, we all wanted to come in one time together. We didn't think that it was, you know, something new to come in with so many members, because we used to groups like Kool and the Gang, New Edition, so many motherfuckers in the group. We was like, yo, this is just a rap group. But we didn't know that people would be like, damn, this is a hip hop rap group with so many members. And you know, at first people was like, nah, we ain't believing that shit. That shit ain't going nowhere. But we were so determined to move as one that we was like, yo, you gotta take it or leave it. And it was the music. It was the music that really vesseled us through the game, where we started getting famous outside of America. It's like, oh shit, like, the fuck? We going to Europe? We going, you know? And that's when I think it really opened us up, because we didn't think it would take off that far.
I think you guys like pioneered that big group of like rap members, like Hot Boys, Juvie, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne started Young Money, Drake, Nicki Minaj. You guys are like the pioneers of like big groups of hip hop members, and that's what I know, you know, as music right now for my generation. So thank you for that. What is your favorite record that you've ever made? eBay? What, can you pick?
I would definitely say that you talking about a song or you talking about a record? All right. Well, the first song that I ever thought was a real song of mine was Cream, and that happened to be with my brother Inspector Deck on it. Really, Deck? Oh my God, that record Cream, that was our life right there. That was our life, and I think that's when things for me started to become more interesting, because you didn't have artists back then, you know, really going into the depths about where they come from in their music. We was keeping it so real, you know, brothers been in the system, the jail system. You know, we just had it so rough that we knew that we had to make something to make y'all see who the fuck we really were. And what was the goal? The goal was to get that cream, that money, you know, and we sat up and we made that record. And when I tell you I could go to different countries and I don't give a fuck, I could be in Asia. They don't know a lick of English, but they know cash rules everything around me. Playing with the money. Yeah. And that shit just took off, you know, and that became one of our biggest records. And like I said, you know, just for me and Deck, you know, just to give everybody a quick glimpse of how important Inspector Deck is to the crew. Deck was the one that set off the first record we ever made, Protect Your Neck. He was the one that came with our smoke on the mic like Smoking Joe Frazier. And that fucking verse opened up a door for all of us to be like, we better come as ill as that shit. So I always give Deck his flowers based on that. But that Cream record was really all of us coming from a dark place. You know, I'm talking about, you know, my mom's being a single mother, you know, not really having too much, you know, she had to get it the way she had to get it. You know, she didn't have time to really be a mom to me the way I wanted her to, meaning like spending time with me, because she had to make sure that we had food on the table. You know how that goes. Yo, listen, you gotta make sure you get the 3 meals and you got a roof over your motherfucking head. So everything we learned was in the streets. Everything we learned was in the streets.
Yeah, man. And what I want to do, we're gonna stay on course. I just want to salute y'all boys, you know what I'm saying, for having a whole group because you know how difficult it be, especially coming from the black community. It be everybody against each other, but when you got y'all stuck together, from when y'all started to now, that shit legendary, man. So especially that, Wu-Tang, like everybody in the whole group, man. Y'all seeing this shit on live, that shit, keep doing that shit. That shit was very motivational for the youth. You feel me? Like, it don't matter where you from, you give it for the children, for sure. So linking on to the question. I want to say, what do you feel about the state of hip hop right now, for the whole overall game? How you feel about it?
I think that, you know, music today is inspirational, but it may not be as genuine from an artistry perspective. You know, it's like this. The way I can really say it is that the artists that really, really worked hard to describe the pain and the glory, they open up the door for it to be more, speak your minds, you know, speak how you feel today, and whatever's on your mind, say it, express it. So it's like going to the movie theater. You get to see different movies. For us, we was the artists that was making movies on albums that basically talked about multiple things. So now, you know, you have today where artists are, you know, being creative, making fun music, happy shit, you know, but we were more talking about the pain, the love, the glory, reality shit. You know what I mean? And I think that had a lot to do with becoming great, because we wanted to attack y'all emotions in the most illest way ever, you know what I mean? We want to make a song that make you feel good about yourself, and then you see we got a song like All I Got Is You that'll probably make a tear come in your eye. So that's the difference, that what we were trying to do. We were trying to be more versatile and really pay homage to the people that taught us how to get in it. You know, when I think about artists like Raekwon, Kane, they were talking about shit, everything that was going on. And that's what I don't see a lot today. You know, and trust me, I'm not here to shoot down the young generation, because I love their music. I get in the club, I'm booking into their shit too. Their shit it is what it is. But I guess for a body of work from an artist, it's so important to touch different grounds, you know? It's like listening to Michael Jackson. He'll give you a record that'll make you want to dance, and then he'll give you a record that make you want to fucking cry. You know what I mean? She's out of my life and all that shit. You know, Billie Jean and, you know, it's all about being versatile. And one time I had read an article that Michael Jackson wasn't even, and this was a while ago, you know, he was pretty much not feeling the new generation of music. Because he's like, yo, it don't really sound authentic. But that's his opinion. And I think we all felt like that to a degree. Like, we just need a little bit more versatility in our artistry. And I think the 90s, that's where it probably was just at its best, you know. And we paved the way for the generations today to do what they do. So to me, I tip my hat to them. Hey, that's your formula. Stick with it, you know. That's what it's about. You know, just for us, it just was a little bit more concentration and a little bit more being creative.
Yeah.
I think you guys had the opportunity to be the bad guys for us so that we can have the freedom to be artists, musicians, film writers, screenplay writers, you know, movie producers. Y'all paved the way for us in a very predominant way so that we can actually get our ideas out instead of, you know, surviving or being scared to do what we want to do. Y'all actually gave us the freedom, so thank you again. I want to ask you, what would your advice be to those artists and musicians and people that are trying to create their own movements and create their own sounds? And what would your advice be like? What simple advice do you have for like us? Because we're both in this too. We're trying to get to where you are.
Nah, that's a good question. My advice would be believe in yourself. You know, really take it serious. You know, when you're talking about dreaming and you're talking about getting things that you want to work for, it's all about dedication and hard work. And not letting nobody tell you that you can't get there. You know how many times we would hear, you know, it's not gonna happen. They're not looking for that, or this or that. But I think the key word is determination. You gotta be determined. You gotta know that you possess something great in you. You just gotta find it. I think we all in a situation where we had to find ourselves and see what we good at. You know, I even try to explain these things to my children. What do you want? What do you like? What do you love? What do you love? And I think once you find out what you're good at, you go for it. And you surround yourself with people that believe in you and want to help you, and you can help them. You could promise them something down the line that they may be good at. You know, it's sometimes, you know, when you're dealing with, you know, many different minds of us as people, hey, he may be a good listener. He may be a good speaker. He may be a good version of expressing himself. So you put all of that in the same room and then you say to yourself, this is what I want to do, y'all. And I'm going for it. And as long as you believe you can get to it, it's going to happen. But you need that energy. Everything is energy. And I think that's what made Wu-Tang so ill, is that even though when we came together just from hanging off the block, we all had one common goal. I believe in you, nigga. You gonna make it. You gonna make it. No, we gonna make it. This shit is gonna blow. It's like you gotta bring what you want to reality that you want to happen. Bring it to reality. Show people that you really want it, and show yourself you want it, and then next thing you know, things are going to start to change.
We have 2 more questions from him and I, and then we're gonna let the audience ask a few questions if that's okay with y'all. Y'all still up? Y'all live?
Yeah.
Y'all here?
So we want to know, I know everybody, y'all heard y'all check my boy out, so y'all probably like us. We like shit, you know, what's next? What's next for you? What you got on the drawing board? What's in the skillet pot? You know what I'm saying? And is any TVs, movie scenes, screenplays, you know, anything go for you? You know what I'm saying? We would like to know, you know, we like to pick your brain right about now. So what's up for you? What's in the pot?
what's in the pot. I love this nigga's style. I like his voice and he got that voice. Yeah, it's a lot of things going on, nephew. I mean, at this point, of course, you know, for me, just being in the music business for so long, I love it. Am I in love with it still? A little bit. It's other things I want to do. And I've been working on some film stuff. I got a big documentary that's coming out. It's about my legendary album, Only Built for Cuban Links. This motherfucking documentary, it has about 50 to 60 legendary people inside the music industry that got involved. And it's dope, man. I got an opportunity to direct it myself, along next to another director. You know, these are just things that I'm just picking off my vision board that I want to get done. Also, I got a book out. I wrote a book. Yeah. Kind of tell my story a little bit. I want to make more books. I feel like I'm a fucking dollar coins kind of guy too. I can tell y'all some stories that'll fuck y'all heads up. Believe that, some shit that y'all will be like, damn. Cause you know, you had a rough life and you never forget things that you've been through. They say you remember shit when you're 6 years old, you know, so now that I'm in my young 50s, you know, it's a lot of shit I want to talk about. So, you know, between that, you know, working on some television shows, I got some ideas. I have a wine out right now, it's called Lacado. No, it's not a rosé. It's a how can I say this? It's a sparkle wine. It's kind of like a fusion between champagne and wine together. We tried to get some here for y'all to try out, but you know how these couriers get, they shit fucked up, had me fucking pissed all day, like it didn't make it on time, so I apologize for that. But you know, I'm just trying to just do things that I feel that I love. That's a part of my lifestyle and a part of your lifestyle, you know. We know food is important. You know, we love to drink and smoke. I have a cannabis company that I started with a couple of friends of mine. It's a big brand now. It's called Hashtoria. So I just been integrating in different things and really just trying to paint a picture on showing the world that I got more to myself than just being an artist. You know, I think the artist thing was just something that I was so passionate about at the time that I had to knock that out. But now it's other things that I want to do that y'all will soon see come to fruition real quick.
Last question. Shamik Moore played you, the legendary Raekwon in Wu-Tang. What did you think about his performance?
Yeah, Shamik playing the chef, huh? Well, first and foremost, he got the walk down pat, because I do this a lot with my bands and that's just why, you know, we used to have to pull our pants up all the time, like just pull them up. But I give him a strong 6. It's a strong one though, a strong 6. You know, I think he's a little bit too much, but I think that he's doing a great job because it's hard to play people. You know, and even when I go back and I look at some of the footage of me younger, yeah, I did have a lot of energy. I would call myself the mascot of Wu-Tang, because I always felt like me and Old Dirty, God bless him, we was the life of the crew. We would make everybody laugh, we would make everybody listen, and I think that had a lot to do with us, you know, really going for it. Because sometimes you need somebody to really just amp you up. And I was definitely the anchor to the crew on that level. Deck to tell you that for a fact. Like, yo, Ray is going to be vocal. Ray is going to say if he liked the beat or not, or if this shit is ill. I'm gonna walk around the room and look at everybody's fucking pad and be like, yo, let me hear something. You know what I mean? And that's what you need. You need that motivation. You need that person next to you to, you know, make you feel confident. Make you know that at the end of the day, yo, we got this shit. And that's how Dirty was for us too, because he was been saying from the beginning, Wu-Tang is gonna rock the fucking world. And we was looking at him like, yo, you going a little bit too overboard. But he really seen something and he believed in it. And that energy just casted amongst us, and next thing you know, we took it for real. So, you know, but back to Shamik, I think he's doing good, you know, because you gotta remember, this is 1995. You know, this is flashing back to those times where we was just, you know, out there just trying to make something happen. But yeah, I give him a strong 6 right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna open it for how many questions do you think?
CJ, you want more?
All right, so who has a question? We have one here. We're gonna ask you to either come up or speak very loudly. Probably come up.
I got a question for you, man. Trill. Yeah, and my question is for a lot of artists out here in the streets, from me to you, being a hustler in the streets, and how did you juggle the two between the kitchen and the booth when you was doing shows with not making no money? What was your passion to keep going through when that phone was ringing? You know what I'm talking about? What was your passion to keep driving and saying, forget the music, let me go back over here? And a lot of cats switch that up and go over to the bad side instead of keep the drive going.
Good question, Tro. First thing, like you said, you know, just trying to make money and still believe in this, we had to make a decision. I'm gonna tell you something real. It was a lot of crazy shit going on in my community at the time. Friends was going to jail, friends was dying. You know, the cops was on motherfuckers, the narcs, the RICO, all that shit was going on. And we were subjected to that because we lived in those environments. When this took off, you know what I said to myself? Can't make strengths. Make a decision. Do you want to die or go to jail in the streets? Or do you think that what you around right now could save you for tomorrow? And I sat down for days thinking about this shit. Because like you said, yo, I still wanted to make money, but then I'm saying, yo, this ain't no money. This is where the real money gonna be at. And I had to make a decision. And I always said to myself, you can't do both. It's like trying to be positive and negative at the same time. You can't be positive and negative. Either you're gonna be positive or you're gonna be negative. Because positive and negative is only gonna give you what? A negative. Can't do both. So we had to sit here and say to ourselves, it's time to grow up. Be a fucking man. If you want to go that way, go that way. But don't think that that shit is going to help this. It may hurt this. And you know, a lot of us had to sit there and say, because you know, all of us come from that. We ain't ashamed to tell y'all, we was scramblers. We was in front of the buildings for real, making $1 out of 15 cents. And didn't give a fuck if whatever our destiny was going to be at that time, it was going to be that. But we knew that this was something special. And Deck, you know, I think once the record Protect Your Neck blew up, I think that's when we all was like, oh shit, what the fuck is we really wanting to do right now? So we had to make a decision. And I think that decision was to try to bring some positivity into the world right now. Because we didn't know that the world was going to accept us like that. But it was all about making that decision. And ever since then, we stopped. I don't give a fuck if it was just, yo, I need $100 real quick. It was like, no, we can't do it. This shit right here is showing us something. So I tell all my brothers and sisters out there, make a decision. If you want to go that way, go that way. If you see something that could save your life, don't be stupid. Just stand on it the same way you was standing on whatever you was standing. Take that energy and put it into this. Because the people gave you an opportunity to see greatness in you. Why would you sacrifice that for that? And these are the things that the crew would sit down and discuss and be like, I would get mad if I hear my brother still in it. You know, and they would get mad if they hear me in it. But I think at that time we was just past it and we was just, you know, trying to do better. I looked at it like when we started to get on, the first thing I said one day, I was like, I got a fucking job. I got a job. So now when the police pull me over or they harass me, yo, listen, I'm legal. I got a job. I ain't out here with this bullshit. And you know, we just took it serious. That's just what it was. But you gotta make a decision. So I tell everybody out there, if you know that your future is everything, make a strong and smart decision. It ain't about being, you know, ignorant, stubborn, and stupid. All of that. Wow.
Yeah.
So, being from the South,
What's your name?
my name is Tasha. Okay, so I'm born and raised here in Florida, not Dallas, but I'm a Southern girl who loves New York rap, period. And my question is, you were the first Afro crew and one of the very first New York rappers to work with Southern hip hop artists. Like you jumped on Outkast, the Cool and Eyes album. And so, I was already down with the Wu, and then I loved Outkast, and then you jumped on that track, but I was in there. So, what made you do that at a time where, like, honestly, y'all weren't really fucking with the South like that. So, I've always given you the utmost respect for that. But what made you do that track with them, and what was that like?
Well, at that time, Josh, I was living in Atlanta. You know, I had moved. I was one of those guys that I love to travel, and when I had a couple of dollars, I wanted to move. So I moved to Atlanta. I went to the mall one day and I bumped into Big Boy. Now, I'm familiar with Outkast, like you said. He from the South. I'm from where I'm from. The energy when we met inside the mall was so real because we both were coming up. And we seen each other, it's respect. I respect you, bro. Vice versa. Yo, after that, we need to do something. So right then and there, when we knew that we had respect for each other, and he was a fan of me and mine, and I was a fan of him and his, it was only right that we take it somewhere to the next level because it just felt real. And he asked me, he's like, yo, we need to do something. And automatically my response was like, yeah, let's do it. I wasn't thinking about East and West and I don't give a fuck about that. All I care about is seeing another man making it, and I respect what he do. You know, he was very talented. What they was doing out there, you know, it was the same thing we was doing. And it just happened. It was just, I didn't have time to think about it until after and said, damn, I might be the first cat to really collaborate with somebody from the South. You know, and I ain't think about it like politics-wise. I just looked at it as like, this is a guy that I love and let's get to it. And that record wound up being one of the records that took off, and it showed the unity between different places that could come together and say, yo, we all in this shit together. We all going for the same shit. And that record wound up being a fucking hit. It wound up being a hit at the time I was in. Like I said, I was out there and I was just getting mad love, and they blew up, we blew up, and that's how it's supposed to be. You know, I think that as an artist, that's what it's all about. I would sit back and listen to some of my favorite R&B artists and watch them collaborate with other artists. So, you know, that's what it was all about. And next thing you know, greatness was made then. That's what's up.
My name is Rashad. Obviously, when you were making Purple Tape and you and Ghost developed this chemistry, did you realize the type of chemistry and the type of classic you were making when you were making the Purple Tape? At that time, were you in the moment and realizing that it was like, yo, this is like one of the greatest top 5 hip hop albums of all time? My second question is today, like when you wrote for the verse of Triumph, did you realize that was like one of the top 10 verses ever written in hip hop? Seriously.
Shit, he threw it on me, man. I'm 3 drinks in, pardon me, y'all. I'm just enjoying my brother's moment. But nah, for me, writing Triumph, man, I had no clue what was gonna be what. I just knew that I'm in the crew of superheroes, man. I'm down with the Avengers, you know what I mean? And I had to flex my superpower too. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it was, man. I had to sit down and write and come with something at that time. And I watched RZA make that beat 3 in the morning at that same mansion I saw on the Hulu show. And everybody was asleep and he played the beat and I watched him just do the drums and then put the track together and I'm just like, this dude is amazing, you know what I mean? Like watching him put that together. So I just wrote that, you know, I wrote it previously. I did it on a Tony Touch mixtape. If y'all know who DJ Tony Touch is from New York. And then I called him and said, yo, is it cool if because I don't like saying shit twice, you know what I mean? I said, yo, is it cool if I use this again? You know, it was on the mixtape. I don't think the world heard it. I think the world need to hear this. And he was like, yo, I give you my blessing, bro. Go ahead, do it, use it again. And so when I use it again, I let RZA hear it. He never heard the verse. When I said it to that track, he was just like, yo, this is going first. You gonna set it off. And I think y'all was knocked out, and the next day y'all came through, when y'all heard the song, everybody came to me. Like, yo, Tech, yo, you killed it. But I never even heard the finished product. So the next day when RZA played it for me, I'm hearing it like for the first time again. And I was just like, damn. You know, like I said that shit. You know what I mean? And but like Ray said way back in the long interview, man, he said, I know Wu-Tang got something that the world want to hear because I want to hear it too. You know what I'm saying? And I love you, I love my brothers. Like he said, this shit changed our life. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful to be here tonight to celebrate with my brother. I'm grateful for y'all for having the love y'all did from day one. You know what I'm saying? The love y'all continue to show now. And it's just a blessing, brother. It's a blessing, man. I'm very appreciative. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna pass it to Chef with that.
I never knew that. I never knew that was another verse that you did before. That's dope right there. You know what I mean? Just that's how it was. You know, we would just write verses and you know some things fit perfect with other beats or whatever. You know, but that's ill. I never knew that. I never knew that to this day. I just felt like that rhyme was so perfect for that track at the time. And I know y'all know Deck started a lot of verses in our catalogs. We always went to him first because it was just something about his cleverness, you know, his wordplay. And that's one thing about being in the group, you know, I think that we all became better because we all paid attention to each other's work. You know, like I said, we all took it serious. And around the time when we was making Cuban Links, to be honest with you, I wanted it so bad, I just knew that this was going to be my way to be heard now. Because our deal was always about each individual one day will have his own time to shine. Cuban Links came, I mean, it was basically before Cuban Links came, it was my time. I guess the people were excited to see what the chef could do because at that time you already heard Dirty, you already heard Method Man, you heard The Wu, So we was already letting y'all know that yo, there's so many other changes that we want y'all to get ready for. When it was my time, I was like, damn, the fuck? How the fuck am I freak this shit? But in my mind, I know I'm gonna freak it because I got them behind me. And it was just me sitting down and saying, yo, I gotta talk to them about the shit that I know. Only thing I knew at that time was being a hustler, being in the streets, but also knowing that these dudes know that world just as much as I know it. So Cuban Links was born. I mean, we came in just talking that shit, and RZA always had a bunch of beats that I love to write stories about. I always been a storyteller in the group. Deck could tell you that, like, yo, Ray been writing stories from in the streets about shit. So I knew that this album was gonna be more driven towards storytelling. I had these big visions of me being this mafioso boss, and the chef is Last Supper, sitting down with my brothers, we made it. And I called the album Only Built for Cuban Links because I felt like we were that chain that couldn't be broken. So not only we was shining, but it was something that was together that nobody in the world could ever try to break. That's why that name of that title is so important. Only Built for Cuban Links. And I would have never thought 20, 30 years later, everybody would be wearing Cuban links. So that's dope to me, I love it. But yeah, man, it was time for me to paint pictures, and I think the crew, they love me for that. That's why they call me the chef, because they know, yo, he's gonna grab these ingredients and throw it over here and put us in a place where it's like, yo, Ray get a chance to express himself. So that album right there was just something that I wanted to really say to myself, I gotta make something that's gonna be able to pave the way for the next member that he's gonna make his fucking classic next. See, that's what it was for us. Each nigga that got on had to make sure his shit was so hot that it opened up the doors for the next man. And then it just gonna keep, domino effect. So that's all I was just trying to do, is just trying to stand up and impress my brothers, and of course impress the fans, but mostly just hold it down for my family at that time, the Wu.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Ronnie Rich is my name. Shout out to the chef, Spectre Deck, the whole Wu, including Power, because I like his part of the story. But I got a serious question. I remember in 2018, you announced the launch of Station Head, and I'm on there. And the only reason I got on there was because of you. And I was wondering, were you still a part of it? And if so, where do you see it going from there? You and Ryan Starr, if I remember. So a lot of people don't know about it, but I always kept up with it because I kept up with a lot of what you was doing. I even kept up when you moved to LA. Just different poets. I read stuff from back in the day. So that's the question I have.
Oh, Station Head. Okay. Station Head is an independent radio show. Right. Yes, absolutely. That's a company that I invested in a long time ago. So just not only just being in it, but it was a company that I seen that had a lot of potential, and I invested in it, and it was a platform there to be heard. I thought that was dope to be involved with that, because you gotta remember, we all love music so much that at some point we feel like we're DJs within ourselves. That platform was telling everybody that they could be a DJ if you felt you love music the way I love music. And it was just something that I thought was very dope, to be able to be heard and seen, not seen, but be heard through a transmitter on your phone. I thought it was super clever. I thought it was a way to communicate. It was almost like it was Twitter, but dealing with music. And that's ill you talked about that, because that was something that I felt like, you know, now everything is starting to become now more our thing in the music world, outside of just listening to the radio station or being in a club. You get the opportunity to handle your music selection and make it be heard. So I was just excited to be involved with it. Shout out to Station Head. These guys are really like musical techs that love music, and they always told me, yo Ray, this is a way that you could be able to communicate with your fans. This is a way that you could be on your phone and actually ask to hear from a subscriber, and you would be able to talk to them on your phone. I thought that was the illest shit in the world, and I still think that. But I truly believe it's a great platform to be able to put your music in, you know, and let people hear you, and at the same time let them hear this type of music that you love. So I would advise everybody, if you're not up on that app, it's called Station Head. It's a dope app. It gives everybody the ability to create their own music list and be heard and communicate with your buddies out there. So I salute you for that. Thank you. You take one more. We take one more. Talk to me, Rob. Talk to me. That's my boy, Rob. Talk to me. You good? All right, all right. What's up, brother?
What's happening, Chef? Hey man, my name's Taz Green. So basically, I wanted to know if we was gonna get a new artist from Wu-Tang, or new music, new beats. You know what I'm saying? What we doing? What we doing?
Well, definitely, you know, we definitely got some new music coming up. As far as the crew thing, creating something, I think we still trying to navigate to figure it out, because everybody is in different dimensions right now. You know, when you be in a group for so long, 30 years, it's hard to kind of get everybody in the room together, because we got so many different other things that we trying to do. Because it's more than just the music, it's us trying to brand ourselves in other different aspects. The music, of course, we got some shit lined up. We got some heat lined up. Not only myself, Inspector Deck, Ghost, all of us, we have tons of music. I think it's just a matter of time when you get it. That's just, you know, we never like to say it's coming and then it don't come. I think it's just a matter of time when. But like I said, just follow us and stay in tune. But we got some shit coming for sure. Me, I'll have some music out at the beginning of the third quarter, because right now my mind is set on doing this documentary. I want to make this documentary as important as how you felt when you heard the Purple Tape. So I've been really kind of like going heavy with that. But don't worry, you know, it ain't nothing changed. Shit's still gonna be fire, you know. But like I said, it's just a process, and it'll be here soon. Word? So, yo, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell y'all it's the time to wrap it up. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And oh yeah, let me give y'all my thoughts on it. First of all, I want to give you
Oh man, that's a wrap.
Something happened with the system, y'all. What I want to say is I want to give a shout out to all radio personalities in the building. I've been supportive of me from day one out here. And it ain't not 1 second y'all can't call me, get me on the microphone and know that the chef is there for y'all. So thank you, Andy. Thank you, Steve Nice, and thank you to everybody that came out. It's starting to get interesting. It really is. I don't want to give away some things, but I see where they're going because now, just to give y'all a little understanding of it, I think what's going on right now is that we're at a pinnacle where we finally got something done, but we're still trying to figure out where this shit is going. Rizzo, of course, y'all see, he's brainstorming, you know what I mean? He's trying to make sure he feeds all of us. Because remember, once we came out, we always said, you gonna do your album, you gonna do your album, you gonna do your album, you gonna do your album. And that's what's going on right now. You see Old Dirty Bastard in the film, it seems like he's going into his addiction of feeling away, or he may be depressed, or whatever the case may be. He start indulging in drugs, and you know, it's just shit that really happens in the music business. So that's what I got out of that. You know, me talking to the beautiful ladies, these are people that I met in Europe. That was a real part, because I did have some friends that were from Sweden that put me on to some music at the time that fucked my head up. You know, they put me on to Nas and shit. These was girls that was from Europe. They was hip hop fans, and that's what I see going on. So really, right now, like I said, y'all gotta keep looking at it.
There's a lot of truth there.
Yeah. I would give it so far, and Deck might be able to add on. You know, he's making it right now, but I would definitely give it 60% of what I can reflect. You know, as far as the parties with the girls in the house and all that.
It's good TV. It's good TV.
But thing like that, that's taking place back there. But it seems like it's getting interesting. But I'm glad y'all came out. And yo, stick with it. You know what it is. Thank you, Jag. Thank you, Warren. Thanks, Lava Cantina, for having the chef. I love all of y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, man.